Hello everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Investigators of Northern Minnesota. My name is David. I am the founder and lead investigator for the Paranormal Investigators of Northern Minnesota. We have been together since January 2020. We as the team set out on our journeys to the paranormal world to collect evidence of the paranormal and bring it to the light for all of you wonderful viewers to watch at home. Let's introduce the rest of the team to all of you. We have our assistant lead investigator Jade, empath investigator Susie, investigator Patty, and photographer, videographer, and investigator Jake. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ghost Stories with Fans. I am your host, David. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We have our co-host, Stephanie, from Mystic Star Tarot. So we bring her out.
Hello. Hello. How are you, David?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm actually very excited about this show because they're from West Virginia. So that is awesome.
Yes, actually your hometown or your home state, correct?
Not my home state, but I do live in West Virginia. I'm actually from Nashville.
Sorry about that, guys. I had a little technical difficulty. But Nashville, country state.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, all right, so we are going to bring out Jonathan, or AKA JJ, from West Virginia Paranormal Investigations. So everybody, further ado, JJ.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Anytime. That's actually what we're here to do. We would actually like to know a little bit more about you and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Johnson. I co-founded West Virginia Paranormal Investigations back in 2007. I've been investigating, it's hard to believe, it's almost 15 years now, but I've been fortunate enough to travel all over the country and visit a lot of the major locations. I grew up hearing stories about places being haunted near me. Always had a fascination growing up. And then once I got to college and started researching a little bit more and learning a little bit more about the paranormal, that's when I decided to found the group. And it's been probably one of the best things I've ever done. It's gave me a lot of opportunities. It's helped me learn a lot. And I'm very excited to see where it takes me in the future.
You know, they always say with the paranormal, you never know where you go with the future. It's one of those kind of fields that, you don't even know where you're going to go yourself, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's just like the paranormal. So what was it about the paranormal that kind of got your attention to found a team?
My mom actually grew up in a house that she swore was haunted. She had always told me stories about it. She would be upstairs in bed, and her mom would yell up the stairs and tell her to get back in bed because she heard footsteps, and she'd be under the covers just terrified because she heard the same footsteps. So hearing stories like that growing up always really piqued my interest. And then once I got to college, like I said, that was about the time that Ghost Hunters kind of came onto the scene, the TV show. And that was kind of my introduction to like, hey, people actually go out and do this. Like I had no idea. And that just really got me rolling. And then I started doing a lot more research and reading and studying on the area and local folklore, things like that. And it just seemed like the thing to do is to kind of go out and explore it myself. So my cousin Rich and I founded the group. We started out doing mostly residential investigations, which I think is how the majority of people start out. And then we just kind of moved on from there.
So it's pretty much, I love hearing about how it's like a family started paranormal team. I just love how you can get your family involved. I mean, I got my family involved. I got my fiance's family involved. So, I mean, it's a really catchy field to get into.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. We actually grew up probably about 100 yards away from each other, our family houses, and so we were always pretty close. He's a little bit older than me, but we're always pretty close. And we grew up in a very religious household, so even though my mom would tell us stories about the house being haunted and things like that, it was kind of something that not a lot of the family wanted to talk about. So we had never discussed our own shared curiosity in the paranormal until, like I said, I got to that point. I put a message out on social media and just to kind of see what other people knew about haunted places in the area. And lo and behold, it was actually my cousin, like I said, who grew up 100 yards away from me, who messaged me back and said, "Hey, I love this stuff." And that was kind of the starting point for the group.
That's awesome.
You know, it's always nice to have those little home kind of paranormal stories kind of have told to you. That's actually how I started into the paranormal myself, actually, is having my own kind of encounters at my own residence. So at the age of 16. So, you know, I believe that's where most of the paranormal investigators have probably ever started, is probably having to deal with their own experiences that they have dealt with on their own in the beginning. Not to interrupt, but thank you, Lynn, for coming in tonight, and Elaine. Yes,
Thank
definitely join Mystic Star Terror, one of our sponsors of this event, and Nature Knows Best with Lynn. Make sure to check both of them out. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring us for this episode. So, JJ, with that being said, with the paranormal, what would you say has probably been the most terrifying experience that you have encountered?
That's a tough one. I've pushed myself a lot in the field. I've done a lot of stuff that people would probably consider a little bit crazy. Like I said, I've been to most of the major locations on the East Coast. I've been, obviously, with West Virginia, I've been to Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, which is a huge one, the West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville. I've been to Waverly Hills a couple of times. I've been to Sweet Spring Sanitarium. I've been Bobby Mackey's. Like I said, basically, if you can name it, I've been there. But I've been to a couple of locations where we stayed for extended periods of time. One being the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas. We actually stayed and investigated for over a week there. And then there was another place that's not a well-known place, but I actually lived in the location for 30 days and investigated every single night for 30 days, which that pushed me basically to my breaking point. And that place was really, really negative. So being in that environment and continuing to push through that, I mean, there's some stories from there that, yeah, it's hard to believe.
That's amazing.
You know, you seem like you've been to a lot of pretty well-known locations. I did hear the Waverly Hills, which is, you know, amazing because we're actually planning on going there in 2022. So maybe we should talk about possibly doing a collaboration.
Yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
awesome to meet up with you and, you know, get to see. We believe with the paranormal investigators in northern Minnesota, we're all about the pair unity. We're in it with each other. There's no I in team. Okay, I mean, we're all in it together. We all do the same field. We all do the same thing. Why be so competitive about it? I mean, yeah, I mean, there's team names, but I mean, hey, let's just do it together and just be one big happy paranormal family.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, you guys are in West Virginia. You could always scoop me up and let me come along. I'm in West Virginia, too. I've always wanted to go on a hunt. I have never been yet. So, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, because unfortunately, everybody knows that we were supposed to go to Wisconsin here in March on the 15th and 16th and 17th. Well, that had been postponed at this time due to a illness on our affiliated team side. Prayers send over to her. It wasn't a good morning for the family. Just saying that. So we did find a new location that we're going to in Iowa. We're going to the Melvin Manor in Melvin, Iowa. So just so everybody knows, we're not going to Wisconsin. We're going to our farm friends down south.
I've heard good things about that place. That should be fun.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about it. Actually, before I did this live today or tonight, that's what I was doing, is some research. And this place definitely got my hair standing up.
So I have to ask. Go ahead.
Yeah,
David.
go ahead.
I have to ask, since you have been to the Moundsville Pen, did you experience anything there? Like, was it very active for you guys, or how was that experience?
Yeah, I've been there a number of times for the overnights. Actually, one of the TV shows that I filmed for the Travel Channel called Paranormal Challenge with Zach Bagans, we actually filmed at the penitentiary in Moundsville, so that was pretty cool. But the one time that sticks out in my mind, we were in one of the isolation cells, or one of the high security cells. All of the tiers above us were physically locked off. It was impossible for anybody to get up above us. And we were in the cell and we were talking and we were doing EVPs. The cell door above us slammed so hard it physically shook the cell that we were in. There were two people standing outside the cell, and it scared them so bad they tried to run into the cell, and it was like a cartoon. They got stuck in the door at the same time. But we actually caught an EVP right before that, before the door slammed, that said they're down here. So like that whole thing all happening at once was just absolutely incredible.
Wow,
with that
that's awesome.
EVP, would you say that would be a Class A EVP?
In my opinion, yeah, absolutely.
Man, that would be so awesome to be able to. I always wanted to go to a haunted penitentiary and, go find. I can finally say I want to go inside the walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without doing something bad to get in the walls.
Right.
Elaine says, my daughter lives in Scotland and decided her and her friend would go on a ghost hunt at her local graveyard and took some pictures with her infrared cam and caught an apparition. But I think it has attached itself to her. Things been happening in her house. Stephanie, you were here before, right? Aren't you the clairvoyant?
Clairvoyant? Yes.
Yeah, I can never say that word.
Yeah, I have been on. Yes. I'm not sure what else you want. Yes, though. I am a clairvoyant. I am a psychic. I am a tarot reader. And I definitely have my own long list of experiences with spirits, energies. So definitely. It's always interesting to hear other people's experiences, though. Definitely.
She wants to know, are you able to see if the spirit is with her or anybody?
There's a woman. There's a woman around you. I'm not sure who she is, but there is a woman around you. I do pick up that. Someone told me woman. Definitely. So, if you want to message me and we can actually get into it and actually conversate about it, we can do that. So if you want to message me personally, that's fine. And we can talk. Definitely. But I do definitely hear a woman. They said there is a woman around you. Yes.
Most definitely get in contact with Stephanie. She will definitely take care of you. She's very good at what she does. And hello to Paranormal Theory. I'm doing very good right now. Even though it's only 10 p.m. my time. It's 11 p.m. your time, 11:14, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, would you say out of the the places in the East Coast, would you say what one would be probably the top investigation that you have done? Like the top dog? Like, would you say the penitentiary, or would you say one of the asylums?
I mean, honestly, the place that we went this year, called Sweet Spring Sanitarium in southern West Virginia, has probably been one of my top favorite places. And then there's another place called the Haunted Heyman House in Sutton, West Virginia, and both of those have been featured on our YouTube web series Forgotten Relics, which we launched last year, and they're definitely both worth checking out. We got some incredible evidence. But yeah, those two are right now sitting at the top of my list.
And if everybody's looking right now, this is, I'm guessing, your guys' cover image for like Forgotten Relics for the YouTube series?
Yeah, it's one of them, absolutely.
Okay, so right there, guys, you can go watch the new episode at www.youtube.com/WVPara. WVPara, West Virginia Para. Check them out on YouTube and give them a nice subscribe. They would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, definitely. Very much so.
Absolutely.
And then Elaine says, "Okay, Stephanie, thanks. How do I message you? I'm under Facebook. I'm on Facebook under this name."
Yeah, Eileen, you can just literally look up my name, Stephanie Menace, or if you want to go to Mystic Star Tarot, I promise if you put that in Facebook, it's going to come right up. Either or, but just message me personally and we'll discuss. Thank you. Lynn actually just dropped the link right there. So if you want to just go to Mystic Star, either make a post a question for me, or again, just message me personally and I'll get with you on it.
Yes, exactly. She will take great care of you. So with that being said, all right, well, I mean, I would love to get out to West Virginia. I mean, I haven't got to travel very much. And, you know, this is actually kind of like the time to start doing it. Like the states are starting to open up again. I mean, how did everybody like the 2020? No, not very good. No, I didn't either because I didn't get to go everywhere.
It's too early, David. It's too early.
I'm sorry.
Where are you guys going next, JJ? In West Virginia. Where's your next stop?
Right now, we don't have anything planned for West Virginia. We have a couple things coming up we have one in Ohio in the beginning of April, or actually two in Ohio in the beginning of April, and we have one in Pennsylvania here in the next couple of weeks. But for West Virginia, there's a new place that just opened up called the Hospital on College Hill. It was featured on Destination Fear this past season. That place is definitely at the top of the list because it's been very rarely investigated. So that's the kind of places that we like, places that haven't been over investigated.
What about Ohio? What's the locations that you're going to there?
One is called the Middle Point School in Middle Point, Ohio. And one is I believe it's called the Old Bryan Jail is the other one. And then we have a couple more, hopefully for later in the year that we haven't finalized yet. But yeah, we're trying to get as many as we can this year. Like I said, we have 4 episodes out right now for Forgotten Relics, but we're trying to double or triple that this year, hopefully.
Have you been to the Bel Air house?
I have. It's been a few years, but I have been there personally. The group that I'm currently with now has not been there, but that's another place that is on the list for sure.
Did you experience stuff there as well? How was that?
Actually, and it's like this with the paranormal in general, but not everything happens every time you go out. So both times that I've been to the Bel Air house were relatively quiet, but I've heard some other people go there and have some absolutely insane experiences. So it might have just been a couple quiet nights for us, but I've heard a lot of stuff about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not all the same, that's for sure.
No, definitely paranormal locations definitely have their ups and downs. I mean, I experienced many of those, and it's it feels like it's a bummer, but then the next day they just like slap you right in the face. They know you're getting ready to leave. They know you're getting ready to leave to go home, so they're gonna mess with you at the last moment. We have those special moments at the Boyd house. Every single time we go to the Boyd house, it happens. Like the first day, it's dead. The second day, they hit us and kick our butts and make us all like droopy and tired the next day on our way home. So yeah, they know when you're about to leave, so they'll give you your fun once they're ready to give you their fun. And Sherry says hello to Stephanie.
Hello, Sherry.
I need to really get out more. I mean, it seems like you're traveling pretty good. You're going to Ohio. You're getting out there more. It kind of, the surrounding states from Minnesota just kind of bore me. Wisconsin, I haven't really been to Wisconsin yet. For anything, to be honest, I never even knew Wisconsin was technically haunted. Until I was contacted by somebody and actually was like, hey, come on out to Wisconsin. We have a really cool place out here. So, yeah. I mean, just going to a different state from like the East Coast or the West Coast would be pretty, one of those areas would be pretty cool to see because, I don't like cold. I like to go where it's warm.
Same.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky here. I mean, like I said, West Virginia just in general has a lot of really, really incredible places, but we're also very close to, like I said, Waverly in Kentucky. There's quite a few other places in Kentucky. There's St. Albans Sanatorium in Virginia and a lot of other places in Virginia. We're within a day's drive of North Carolina, South Carolina. If we go north, we can go up into Maryland or New York State, which we've been up to New York State a couple times. I mean, we were very lucky to be kind of in the centralized area with a lot of places that we can check out.
By any chance, was the one in New York, by any chance, Rolling Hills?
I haven't made it there yet. We actually went to the Hinsdale House in New York.
Yes.
Rolling Hills is, I know some people who have been there personally who had some pretty intense experiences. So Rolling Hills, I think it's about a 6 or 8 hour drive for us. So it's definitely within driving distance for sure. But it's definitely something we have a ton of places on the list. It's just finding the time to make it there. But that's another one that we're looking into for sure.
When you say 6 to 8 hours, it kind of reminds me, that's kind of like our drive that we have to do when we go into Iowa here. It's a 6 hour drive for us. So, I mean, just imagine trying to drive all the way to New York. No. Like in 2022, we're planning on going to Vegas, Nevada, to Nopa for the Clown Motel.
Okay, well, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not driving that. I'm taking the plane. I want to be there in about 2 hours. So I mean, there's perks about your driving though. I mean, you get to stop on the way to all these other cool locations, get to take pictures. There's a lot of different places that I want to go to, which now Lynn kind of just struck to my head for their minute, so I couldn't think. She says, David, my sister offered for you to come to their funeral home in Michigan. Lots of spirits and activities there, building over 100 years old. You know what? I would love to come out to Michigan. I mean, that would be a bordering state, sort of. I mean, I just have to cross the water, right? Somehow.
Yeah.
Or is there an actually? Well, I would have to go down through Illinois, to get for roads. Unless I took
I don't
a
know.
boat.
I wonder. I don't know if there is a bridge that crosses the lake. I doubt it.
That would be pretty cool if it did.
I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah. Definitely keep me posted on that, Lynn. I would definitely be interested and want to come to a funeral home. I mean, that would be
so where's
intense.
The first place if I go somewhere in West Virginia? I've never been on a hunt, ever. Always wanted to. Yeah. I mean, then again, they kind of come to me anyway. I don't really have to hunt them down, but I've always wanted to go to locations, So where in West Virginia would I go first? Where would be let me tell you, I do live about a block from the Pen. So I'm very close there. So I know I need to go there. But aside from the Pen.
Make sure it's a scary place too.
Yeah.
I mean, the most famous is obviously Allegheny, Lunatic Asylum, and Weston. I mean, it's been on literally every single TV show that's ever been on, every single paranormal show. And I've been there half dozen times, and I've had experiences every single time. That was one of the places where I had one of my first major, like, oh, wow, kind of moments was at Allegheny. If you're wanting to go to a smaller place, like I said, there's a place in Sutton, West Virginia, which is not far from Allegheny, called the Hammond House. The owner there, Teresa, is amazing. That building, we captured probably our most unexplainable piece of evidence we've ever captured, and that's featured on the web series. It's absolutely unbelievable what we caught there. So, I mean, that place, and that's a lesser known place, and that's kind of like one of the reasons we really like that. Obviously, Sweet Springs, like I mentioned, we've been to Lake Shawnee, the abandoned amusement park down in southern West Virginia. We've been there a few times. That's a really cool place. And then, I mean, there's countless more. But if you're wanting to go to the big ones, I mean, Allegheny for sure is going to be your number one.
Definitely. I might as well. I don't know how I haven't made it to the Pen yet, considering it's the street over. But it's on the list.
Right.
You know how cool would that be if I lived right across from that prison? I mean,
I know, isn't it crazy? It's like
lucky.
right there, and I've never been. I definitely would love to go though. It's just it's so weird, honestly. Like I explained to you, David, it's just so odd because you're like in this town and like you just got this random giant old pen just sitting there. You know what I mean? It just feels so out of place. It's such a huge place too. It's gigantic.
Yeah, the town is very unassuming. You kind of just are driving through this little small town. You never think twice, and then all of a sudden it just climbs up out of nowhere, and then it's just this massive stone structure, this ominous thing. And then you have the burial mounds right across the street, the Native American burial grounds. And then there was another place that was down the street, an old elementary school that they're not running tours anymore. But that was the place where I filmed my other show, My Ghost Story for A&E, was at the little elementary school called Sanford School there in Mount as well. So that whole town is just crawling with activity, basically.
We play volleyball in the Sanford Center, is what it's called now. But yes, we play volleyball there. So I have actually been in that building. Didn't exactly experience anything in there, but yeah, that one I have been inside, I can say.
So I have a question for you. What other teams have you investigated with? Like, have you ever collabed with a lot of people?
Yeah, we have a core group of teams that we really trust. So right now the group is just myself, my girlfriend Vanessa, and our good friend Scott. So there's just a core group of 3. So especially for the web series, and we're going to some bigger locations, we do like to branch out and include some other people. We work with our good friend Cindy, who is in charge of Cindy, who is in charge of Sweet Springs. She runs the tours and everything down there. And I've known her basically since I got started in 2007. We have another group in our town called Dark Hollow Paranormal, and our good friend Lindsay, who has been featured on the web series, and we're going to work with her here in the next couple of weeks as well. And then there's some other groups that we have worked with in the past, not necessarily for the web series, but West Virginia is kind of a tight-knit community for the investigators from people that we know. So we're definitely, like you said, definitely like to work with other people.
That's always a good thing because it's always better to learn together, right? I mean, number one rule: never investigate alone.
Yeah, and never say you'll be back. Never say I'm coming back.
I mean, some places you kind of get that itch, like I'm gonna come back. I'm coming back, but then in like in instant case, like in cases like when you get attacked or touched, that's when you kind of get that mindset. You're like, oh boy, okay, well, I guess I'll come back and see if if it kind of tames down, because I had that happen at Edinburgh in Iowa. Have you been there?
I have not. It's another place I've heard of, and I know people in that area who have been there, but I've personally not. I mean, really, the only place in the Midwest that I've been to, like I said, is the Sally House in Kansas.
Wait, is that the is that is that McIntyre Villa in Kansas?
It's in Atchison as well. That's a different location, but yeah, they're both in the same town.
I think I might be going to that one too, maybe. I don't know. There's a couple locations that are sounding familiar that you're mentioning in that area. I think we are going to Kansas for 2 of them, but I don't remember which ones they are.
Yeah, I've worked with Johnny Hauser. He's the one who's in charge of the Villisca Axe Murder House. He runs
Yes.
all the paranormal tours through there. So Johnny's a good friend of mine. So I know he works with Malvern sometimes as well, or he's done events there at Malvern at least. So I see a lot of the stuff that he does in the Midwest. So that's kind of where I know a lot of these places is from, is through him. But the Villisca House is another one that is way up on our list as well. That one's like a 13 or 14-hour drive, so that one would be a little bit more of a commitment. But that place is cool.
Just to
So
let
I know
you know.
you said you. Go ahead, David.
Oh, I was just going to say,
Go ahead.
if you do go to that place, make sure you don't bring like 10 people, because that place is so tiny.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's probably good just for 3 people, to be honest. I'm going to take my chances and bring 5, but we're going to see how that goes.
I was just going to ask, he had asked about kind of your experiences, and you said you've had a lot. Have you ever actually been attacked or physically touched? Have you seen full body apparitions? Anything like that?
I've definitely been touched multiple times. I've only been scratched one time, and that was at the Sally House. And it's a very negative place. And we did a fair amount of kind of provocation there, just because the group that I was with, that's kind of what they were known for. I don't really work with them much anymore, but we had kind of done that, and I had actually got 3 scratches down the entire length of my forearm, and there was no way that could have happened naturally. But I've been touched. I've been kind of pushed or nudged. I've seen like full body shadow apparitions. I've never seen a full body apparition where I could see like facial features or anything like that. But I've seen what they would call like a creeper, where it kind of like crawls around and it's kind of like a creature kind of thing. I've seen things like that before. So I mean, I've seen and done it all basically. But yeah, I mean, I still get surprised every time that happens, so that's what keeps me going.
Oh, sure.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
I can't believe you said creeper. That's actually what was the first thing that actually I ever saw when I first started in the paranormal when I was 16. That was my first thing, but it was really tall and black, kind of like a shadowy, and then it was like red glowing eyes, and then it climbs the walls and goes on the ceiling and disappears. So I mean, is that kind of the same thing that you were kind of describing there?
I didn't see the red eyes, but similar kind of build, and this one was actually crawling up the stairs and like kind of disappeared. But yeah, I mean, very elongated, very kind of not humanoid shape. But yeah, that's interesting for sure.
We have a question from one of
I bet that's creepy.
It is creepy. Lynn wants to know, what type of protection are you implementing when you're doing these locations?
Like I said, I grew up in a very Christian family, and I still have very Christian faith values. So I will ground myself and use God's white light of protection and say the Lord's Prayer and things like that. But I personally think as long as you ground yourself in whatever you're doing, And even if you open yourself up while you're there to doing interaction, as long as you make it clear, most times they're going to leave you alone in the long run. But I mean, anytime you open yourself up in any way, I mean, there's going to be a chance. I mean, we've definitely had stuff follow us back to our home before. And with Forgotten Relics, one of the things we like to do is pick up items that have an energy of their own, either like at an antique store or something that has some kind of relation to the wherever we're investigating. And we do keep those with us after the hunt. So we do have some quote unquote haunted items that we keep in our home as well. So, I mean, anytime you're doing that, I mean, you're kind of asking for it. So I can't be too upset if we hear footsteps or something walking around the house at night.
Agree.
You know,
I go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to quote off of that because I kind of always wanted to do something like that, but then realized, no, I could get myself into a nasty mess with that. But go ahead with what you were going to say.
I think prayer is powerful. I'm with you. I grew up in a pretty strong Christian home as well. And I still carry a lot of Christian values myself. And, you know, I get that question a lot from people is, you know, how can I protect myself? What do I need to do? And that's the first thing that comes out of my mouth. Being direct about your intent, you know, and that prayer, you know, that really sets the tone. So I agree 100%, you know, and like you said, it really doesn't matter if you are opening yourself to that. You always have that possibility of running into something maybe not as pleasant. But yeah, prayer is powerful, is a powerful, intentional thing to do, for protection. I agree 100%.
Exactly, with prayer and with protection. And, you know, I guess, well, that makes me 3. We're all Christians in this video tonight. That's a good sign.
Amen.
You know, and wherever there are more than one Christian, it's more stronger too.
Yep.
In the belief system. I'm not very, like, don't quote me on the Bible. I'm not very good at quotes, but I know partials here. I know a little bit, but I didn't like grow up going to church every Sunday or anything like that. It was just what I learned on my own because nobody really in my family really kind of followed it. I was the only one, and I kind of was pushed as the outcast, but that was near here or there. But we do have a couple of seconds that I would like to talk about protection and actually about that kind of grounding and purification. We do have a sponsor in the house tonight, Lynn, with Nature Knows Best. I'd like to give her a huge shout out for her products that she does her lives with on her page. It's amazing products. I'm still waiting on my package, but I'm guessing Stephanie is going to go show us a little bit of these items you can get.
I am. Hold on just a second.
Nope, you're totally fine. Sage, Palo Santo sticks, different types of stones, crystals.
Yes.
Oh yeah, just
okay.
Just
so
wait till you see this.
We have a large selection of scents, depending on what your intent is, what you're needing it for. One of our things that we prize ourselves on is our Demon Be Gone. What's used in this has been used for thousands of years. Lynn actually went the extra mile. We have some protective sigils, some banishing sigils on it. So we actually have this for, you know, your more negative type energies. And then, of course, we have our white sage, which is going to be more for the clearing, the grounding, you know, things like that. Then, of course, you know, you're probably not going to carry this hunk with you. This is just one of my favorite things that I own. This is a Smoky Quartz crystal, which is obviously known for protection. Absolutely beautiful. You can see all the rainbows in it. I always get confused on these cameras. I'm always way off to the side. Over here, which way? But yeah, this is some of the stuff that it is all handmade. It is all 100% natural. We have Palo Santo as well, you know, which is also good for the clearing. but we have different things for different purposes, obviously. But yeah, the Demon Be Gone is what we call our heavy hitter. Usually, this is what I would recommend for someone like you guys, or people that do more your type work. This is our heavy hitting 3-pack, we say. The Palo Santo, the White Sage, and the Demon Be Gone. But it is all handmade. And again, like I said, some of the things that's used in this are well known and have been used for thousands of years. In the Demon Be Gone, some of it's been used in exorcisms and things like that. It's actually well documented for those purposes. But Lynn really does an amazing job when it comes to these things. Everyone that gets them are like amazing, and I tend to use them every single day for what I do. Definitely if you guys are looking for protective items, looking for things like the Demon Be Gone, for your type of work, you can definitely check out the Nature Knows Best page and have her help you with that, or you can pick out whatever you think you need or whatever. But definitely
Good to know. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those kind words from Stephanie for Nature Knows Best, our sponsor for the 36-minute mark of our episode. So thank you so much to Nature Knows Best. We really appreciate you and everything that you do for us and everybody out in the community.
Absolutely.
All right, so now we are done with those sponsorships for this session. So with the last 20 minutes, we would like to bring up like a new topic, or new thing that we haven't brought into our show before. It's kind of normally you do the question and answers at the end, right? Well, we're going to do a question and answer kind of with a twist. So our guest viewers that are watching us right now, if you have any questions for any three of us, shoot them out through the comments and we will answer those. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask Jonathan and Stephanie to talk about a little bit more about his aura. I want you to do, if you can, if you feel comfortable with it, do a reading for Jonathan.
On what?
Just a brief, any kind of message that just comes to you that he might need to know. Maybe there's something going on in his life that he hasn't mentioned.
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah, just put me on the spot without me actually kind of being in that mindset. Yeah.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. When I'm doing those types of readings, I'm really into it. You know what I mean? I'm set up. Obviously I'm not set up. I've not prayed. I haven't invoked what I should be invoking. But let me just give me just a second. I don't know why when you first asked this, I don't know why I seen something bright and reflective almost. I don't know if this has something to do with the mirror or something silver maybe. It's interesting. It's one of the first things I seen when you said that was almost like a reflective type deal. Is there some kind of special mirror or something?
At one of the places that I'd mentioned earlier that is on the web series, the Heyman House, there's actually a mirror there, and the story that was told to us is that they had found it in the attic. They sent it away to get cut to put in a mantelpiece, And the gentleman who was supposed to cut the glass, every time he went to cut it, there was an elderly woman who would come and say no, just say, you can't cut that, don't cut the mirror. So eventually he's like, all right, I'm out, I'm not going to touch the mirror. So they sent it back, and it's actually in the Heyman house still.
Yeah, that's interesting, because when he said that, I got this image of almost this type reflection of something reflected, but I didn't feel, I felt almost the urge of, like you said, almost not being around it, like you didn't want to be around it. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm picking that up. Is there another mirror though? Is this something you guys own, perhaps?
Not anything that comes to mind now.
Yeah, I'm picking up this really reflective. I picked up this really reflective image here, and that's what keeps coming up to me. Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I do have my selenite palm stone on me, and it's really reflective.
No, this was about him. Definitely. So again, maybe it is part of something he's interacted with or done before, but the reflective thing really stood out to me when you initially mentioned that. And I'm not really quite sure why. Now, granted, we are on here doing this with several different energies and several different people. Again, it's kind of a weird thing to jump into without actually doing what I should be doing. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, really.
I don't normally just, I usually have everything set up and I'm in that mindset. It makes a difference when I'm not focused in that mindset. That's a whole other different type of energy. Anyone who does this type of thing would understand that. It's a whole nother type of energy that you enter, and that you're in when you do that. Go ahead and keep talking. I will tell you what comes to my head. But that mirror, yeah, I'm not sure if it's a mirror. All I know if it's really reflective, whatever just came up in my head. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could think of possibly, and it's not a mirror, but the only thing reflective is I collect rosaries, and we've had some weird experiences with some rosaries. That might be reflective in some way, but that's the only thing that I could think of that.
Yeah.
That explains the silver.
Yeah, it definitely. What I initially seen almost was like a beam, like a spreading out of light. That's why I said perhaps it was reflective, perhaps it's silver. I'm not quite sure. But that's, for some reason, and it was weird because it's like went like this, almost as if to go out. And that was an image that I seen immediately as you said that. But yeah, nonetheless. If you give me a heads up next time, I could certainly be in that mindset. It's just a different type of energy when you do that. You know what I mean? It's almost like you have to turn it off and turn it on. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're not on, you're not on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And maybe you do, maybe you don't. I know people that tend to do this, they would understand what I'm saying. If you're not in that mindset, it's a little bit harder. I have to turn that on, and it's important that I do it that way, because otherwise, if I just leave it on, then I'm open to anything coming in. You know what I mean? That's why it's almost the right time, right place type deal with these. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it was actually meant for him, Steph, and I do apologize because I was looking at a name on the comment list, and that's when I brought up about a reading. And there was something that just recently happened with this person that I was reading their name. And that's when the reading came to my mind, like a reading, like something good happened, something bad happened.
I see.
I'm literally sitting here in shock right now. I can't. I don't understand what it is. Like I apologize, guys. I'm kind of having an off night tonight. For some odd reason, I'm just not. Just seeing the name, just kind of. I feel sad. I don't feel.
You're a little staticky there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like I got tears ready to start building up on my face right now.
That's okay. No, don't feel bad. Don't hide that. It's okay. We all cry. It's okay to feel those emotions.
I just don't know where it's coming from. Like, whew, okay, I'm sorry about that, Jonathan. I'm just like,
That's okay.
I've been learning that I may have a gift that I've been told by 3 different psychics already. And weird things have been happening to me lately that's been unexplainable. And I'm still just kind of shaken up by it a little bit.
It happens. I'm sure JJ also has experienced that, and I do as well. It's very easy to pick up, especially when you're on and you're tuned into it. It's very easy to pick up others' emotions, to pick up the energy, those feelings. Like, as I explained to you, like there's been times I've gotten angry, and I couldn't really explain why I was pissed, and I was mad for some reason, or cry and just break down. It's very common that happens, especially when you're channeling, another energy or spirit, etc. So definitely.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Over the years, I've definitely noticed that I've become more in tune with picking up on energies, not necessarily being psychic by any stretch, but when there's a presence around me, I always get a certain pressure on my temples, or I can pick up occasionally on a different emotion if just get angry, like you said, or get sad, whatever the case is, be a little empathetic. Yeah. And that's just comes with trusting your experiences and trusting your intuition, especially when you've been doing it for almost 15 years. You kind of learn to trust that because usually there's something to it.
Agree.
I mean, that was just something like the first time that has ever happened on a radio show. I mean, I experienced angriness once on one of my episodes before, but nothing. This felt like, I don't know, it was just like my eyes were just watering up, like it was just ready to drop a tear.
I asked if Spirit could explain this because I'm very adamant about what I've seen. I know I've seen something very reflective. Again, I don't know if it was a mirror or what, but I asked Spirit if they could explain. I utilize my cards a lot. What this mirror is about, and I got this 10 of Cups, and if you look at this, it's definitely an heirloom, or it's some kind of mirror. It's something within someone's home, family related. I'm certain of that. So I'm not sure who in this live this is related to, but it's certainly related to somebody here right now. I'm certain of that. And it definitely would seem that it's family related, or something within someone's home. It may have been passed down, not quite sure, but just for anybody out there watching, I'm picking that up, and I feel if it's you, you'll know it's you instantly. But I had to clarify for my own sanity what it has to do with. So I definitely get the sense, and this may not even be like a big mirror. This may even be like a pocket type deal. But it feels heirloom, or it feels handed down. It feels antique. Something along those lines. But anyways, I just had to throw that out there because I needed to clarify for my own my own peace of mind. So just FYI.
So pretty much if anybody comes back with saying that they have like a family heirloom
Yeah,
of like a
it's
mirror or
something like
something,
that.
just let us know, pretty much.
Yep,
Yeah, I
yep.
don't know. Tonight was just a different feeling to it at the end here. She wants to know, I have a mirror given to us by my husband's mom.
Yeah. I felt it was from a woman, yes. Yeah.
Then Lynn says it's me,
and
big mirror.
Big mirror, Steph and I are very connected. Yeah, okay, and then Lynn has a bigger mirror. I didn't even know that. So there you go. But I definitely felt it was from a woman. That it was handed down from a woman. That was my initial thought when I first seen it. But again, it definitely feels heirloom. It definitely feels handed down. It's reflective. It's got to be a mirror or something pocket reflective. I'm 100% certain about that. And then to get the Ten of Cups is definitely family related. And interesting you say that about it being your husband. I done shuffled this back in here, but let me show you this card because it would almost look like you and your husband sitting here. It's very interesting. Again, here's the thing about doing, to just off the cuff do that. There's so many different energies being thrown out that, I could be picking up on anyone. You know what I mean? Not even just JJ. Look at this. There it is. Look at the man and the woman sitting here in the home. It's definitely home related. It definitely was handed down. And I initially felt woman. So you may be the one I'm picking up on. Who made that comment?
It was right here.
Eileen. Okay, and Eileen's the one. Yeah, and Eileen's the one that I had the question. Just message me, Eileen. I think we got some talking to do. Definitely. There's a reason
I really like
coming
how that.
up.
I like how that worked too. I really like how that worked. Like you picked up a connection like immediately. Like right after you picked it up, I kind of picked up something right after you.
Yep, very interesting.
Yeah.
I think we got to talk. I think that's why it came up. I think Eileen and I need to talk. Definitely. Yeah.
She was channeling through me to talk to you to get you to do a reading. Is that what you're pretty much?
Well, no, when she asked earlier if she had a spirit with her, I picked up the woman, and then she's bringing up the mirror, and I thought it was from a woman, and that it was handed down, and now it's her again. So I feel there's a reason, and I feel definitely spirit wants us to talk for some reason.
Yep, I see where you're getting.
Do message me.
I can see where you're getting it from, because it's the mirror, the reflectiveness, something antique.
Yeah.
Wow.
I joined your Facebook group. Good. We'll talk. Yeah.
Very interesting. Wow. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was certain of it. That's one thing, kind of like JJ mentioned, you've learned to trust your intuition, and it's crazy in my head. I'm going, I don't know why I'm seeing this or what this has to do with. I know I'm seeing it for a reason, there's a reason I've seen it. And I just think it's interesting that she initially asked that a while back, and now she's answering again. So I think we clearly have some talking to do. Definitely.
And Stephanie and JJ, this is the person that the name that popped up that tears started flowing in my eyes.
Eileen or Sasha?
Sasha.
Guys.
I will message you after the event's over with, or the show's over with, and I'll tell you the backstory behind that.
Guys, if any of you have questions, okay, please message me personally. Obviously, our show is about over, and the show isn't about me. So, if you want to ask questions, please just message me in the group or on my personal page, okay? And then we can talk. And I do go live all week long. So, if you're looking for messages, you can always join one of those lives. And when I'm in the zone, like I said, I'm going to get messages if I ask, no matter what. But the question is, whose message am I getting? You know what I mean? And again, it's really about that energy, turning it off and turning it on. And I have to do it like that, because if I just leave it on all the time, I'm bombarded with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So, there's a right time to turn it on and a right time to turn it off. I mean, it's just not on right now. So if you want it to get me while it's on, message me personally, okay?
Yeah, because something's not right, Steph. My head is like hurting, like right in the middle, and it's like a pain. Somebody's throwing off some kind of energy, and I can feel it. Okay, that's not normal. That just don't feel right, and I do apologize with that, JJ. I just don't know why it just came out like that.
No apologies needed.
I know it's about you tonight, and it just literally came out of the middle of nowhere. And I think, like Stephanie said, it was meant for those two to have a conversation. To be honest,
I think so.
But I want to know what's going on with every time I talk about Sasha's name, it now my head hurt right after that. Like, okay, so just to give a kind of a little history about this, is it's a private home investigation. That's all I can say. And I've been to this place and I've done it already. And we've done it twice now. And that's why I keep. Okay. Well, anyways, I really do apologize, even though you say no apologies needed. But I still feel like I should. Renee Turner says, "Believe me, Stephanie is the real thing."
Thank you, Renee. People know, most of the people that watch me know, like I said, I've explained it. There's a reason why, I do it at certain times. I've got to really be in that zone. If I say, hey, give me a message, something's going to come through, but who the hell am I getting a message for? You know what I mean? That's why I tend to like to do it more in an organized fashion to some degree, right? But nonetheless, thank you, Renee. I appreciate that really very much.
Yes, and thank you to JJ for coming on tonight with us.
Absolutely. JJ, y'all pick me up. I'm right up the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Take me with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me know.
I appreciate you guys having me on tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Lots of fun. Thank you for hanging out.
And Stephanie, set up the prison investigation. Maybe he'll come and they'll come investigate with you.
Yes. A whole block over.
Yeah.
We'll walk over there tomorrow.
So I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight, and we definitely would like to set up with another show with you, and get to know more about you.
Yeah, anytime. I'm always down.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely be in contact with you. But for tomorrow night, Stephanie will not be with us. But tomorrow night we are going to be live with paranormal investigators of Northern Pennsylvania, with Madison and Ashley. They will be live with us tomorrow night. It's a new affiliated team that just started. We're helping them grow. We're helping them build their reputation and start, growing underneath their wings. So they're pretty much a sibling.
Are you working on plans for a home or to move?
Yeah, we're actually house hunting right now.
Wow. Okay. Sorry, I just had to ask. I got the Four of Wands in the reverse for you, followed up by the Three of Pentacles, so it looked like making plans for a new home. So,
yep, absolutely.
I just had to put it out there.
Been looking for the last probably month or month and a half. We've been looking at houses.
Yep.
Wow. I love it.
Sorry.
No, that's awesome.
Stephanie,
Random. I just had to ask.
I think we should have a show together and do something like that.
Definitely.
Where you use cards like that.
Let me know.
I mean, and then just have guests on random paranormal teams come on and talk to us about all this stuff.
Right.
Sasha, I will message you afterwards, and I will talk to Stephanie because I feel like there is something going on. But thank you guys so much coming on for
Good
tonight.
luck finding a house, JJ.
Thank you. Very much appreciate it. It's been a struggle, so any help is appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys all have a wonderful night, and we will all see you tomorrow. Thank you all again for coming on tonight.
Bye.
And have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.